Lo... unos 13 con nosotros.
Bienvenidos al workshop de Monnet de la Universidad de Cantabria sobre las alianzas de universidades europeas y las redes de oportunidades que ofrecen a los estudiantes. Me acompañan en la mesa la consejera de Economía y Clima, buenas tardes, consejera, y el director del módulo de Monnet, Marcos Fernández. En atención a la gente que se ha conectado, que no habla español, voy a hacer una breve introducción en inglés. Luego les pasaré la palabra, ¿vale? So welcome all of you, those of you attending this workshop here and also connecting online. Special welcome to Ms. Vanessa Delier-Santon, who is already connected, and she will be introduced in a minute. Welcome to this Monnet workshop, the European University Alliance's Challenges and Opportunities for Students. The first thing I would like to say is that it's really exciting to be part of the European Universities Initiative. I won't be talking about this initiative much because fortunately we're lucky to have the best possible person to talk about this, Ms. Vanessa Delier-Santon, who will be talking in a few minutes afterwards. But I hope she doesn't consider a spoiler if I say that, in my opinion, this initiative is one of the most important initiatives taking place in the European Union towards the convergence of our higher education system. And as such, also an important initiative for the integration of the European Union. University of Cantabria is very proud to be part of one of these alliances composed of different universities from different countries, join forces and construct really competitive alliances. Our alliance is called EUNICE, for European University for Customized Education, formed originally by 7 universities and recently extended to 3 more members. So it's 10 universities from 10 different European countries who are forming this alliance. We have been now for 2 years immersed in this adventure. 10 to 20 years, may I say, in which I think, in my humble opinion, we have taken giant steps towards the creation of a network of trust among the partners, which is probably the key for the future development of our alliance. The challenges ahead that we have are immense, but so are the opportunities, because by participating in this initiative, we are at the forefront of the design of the future higher education in the European Union. So it's a huge honor, and it's also an overwhelming responsibility. So we think one of the main challenges ahead is to embed our communities in this project, and very much in particular to engage the students in this endeavor. This is why I find that this workshop is particularly appropriate, since its main goal is precisely to inform UNICE students about what UNICE can offer in terms of academic offers, values and competences, employability, to name just a few. Well, I would like to say that this workshop has been organized by the Monnet Unit in Economic and Financial System and Regional Development, run by the Economics Department of the University of Cantabria. And I take this opportunity to really thank its director, Marcos Fernandez, for promoting this workshop and for the excellent organization. And we have also taken advantage of the fact that right now at the University of Cantabria, there's a gathering of UNICE members from the different partner universities. So we have asked them also to participate in the workshop. The central act of this workshop is going to be the speech by Ms. Vanessa Delier-Santon, who is the head of UNICE, Higher Education in the European Commission, to get her insider's knowledge in the strategic role of European universities as pioneers of the common European higher education model. The speech will be followed by a Q&A section, so we encourage you to pose your questions. Also, if you are online, you can write them in the chat. And after, we'll have a coffee break, and afterwards, we will have a roundtable to discuss about the opportunities that the Alliance offers to UNICE students. And for that roundtable, we have the participation of expert members from different UNICE partner universities. We have Monnet from Université Polytechnique de France to talk about the shared academic offer We will also have Kirstin Meyer, who is a EUNICE project officer at the University of Cantabria, to address the offer of cultural activities and opportunities for acquiring global competences. And finally, we will have also Cristina Castellano from University of Catania, Italy, to explain EUNICE opportunities for entrepreneurship and innovation. So I hope you can all stay for the whole duration of the workshop, enjoy it, and actively participate posing your questions. And with that said, I turn back to Spanish. Gracias a todos por estar aquí. Espero que disfrutéis del workshop y le doy la palabra a la consejera de Economía y Hacienda del Gobierno de Cantabria, María Álvarez, consejera.
Pues muchísimas gracias, vicerrectora. En primer lugar, decir que bueno, pues es un placer para mí estar aquí y compartir este momento pues con todos ustedes, con la vicerrectora de internacionalización, lo mismo que con el director de la cátedra Monnet y, cómo no, también con el placer de escuchar después a la directora de Educación Superior de la Comisión Europea. Pero sobre todo compartir con todos vosotros y vosotras esta jornada sobre la Alianza de Universidades Europeas, que se celebra, pues como conocemos, en el marco del módulo de Monnet EUNICE. Para el Gobierno de Cantabria, en primer lugar, lo que quiero decir es que queremos poner realmente en valor el trabajo que realiza la Universidad de Cantabria, pues para promover el conocimiento, ese conocimiento especializado con el objetivo, unos objetivos de los que vosotros, alumnos y alumnas, tenéis que contar o vais a contar para esa cualificación que es necesaria para el mañana. Pero es una cualificación necesaria para el mañana que se hace desde el hoy. Siempre hablamos del mañana, pero el mañana comienza hoy mismo, es cuando tenemos esos conocimientos, vamos adquiriendo progresivamente esos conocimientos, esas oportunidades para abordar los retos, ¿no?, que tenemos que afrontar como en la sociedad en la que vivimos. Es decir, que cuando nos preparamos para el mañana tenemos que pensar siempre desde el hoy. Eso, después de tantos años en los que es en el devenir y acontecer de lo que ya me ha tocado vivir, creo que realmente eso es pensar desde el hoy para el mañana. Veréis, son unos desafíos que tenemos como sociedad, unos desafíos de sociedad globalizada y conectada, en la que cualquier decisión que tomemos, cualquier movimiento que hagamos, tiene realmente, es un movimiento como un actor internacional, que tiene un impacto, como estamos hablando de ese mundo globalizado, por mínimo que sea, tiene impacto en la economía global y en la economía de cada uno de los países que conforman este mundo. Por lo tanto, nuestro conocimiento nuestro reconocimiento, sobre todo, y apoyo a la Universidad de Cantabria. Digo conocimiento y reconocimiento porque conocemos el valor que tiene, pero que realmente hay que reconocerlo en el día a día. Y es que todas las actividades que haga y que se realice desde desde cualquier curso académico, pero en este caso, en el módulo de Monnet, que promueve estudios y actividades de alta calidad, pues eso, en las áreas del sistema del conocimiento financiero, del desarrollo regional, pero siempre en el marco del sentido de pertenencia de la Unión Europea, que es algo que no es un ente abstracto. Todos formamos y conformamos Europa, y eso es uno de los fines también que persigue la cátedra Monnet, y los fines que persigue la Consejería de Economía y Hacienda, que también participa, ¿no?, en esta cátedra a través de la Dirección General de Fondos Europeos. La jornada que hoy lo que pretende realmente es ver el papel que juega, la importancia que tiene la alianza de las universidades europeas. Hoy por hoy es algo que es fundamental a la hora de mejorar la formación y las competencias del alumnado y también del profesorado. Pero unas competencias que impulsan tanto la innovación, mejoran las metodologías con un objetivo que es el de avanzar en todos los campos, en el campo científico, en el campo social y en el campo tecnológico. Realmente ese es el nexo común que tiene esa alianza de las universidades europeas. Y como ya sabréis, la Universidad de Cantabria pues forma parte de EUNICE, ¿no?, esa alianza, una alianza que está alentada y forjada por la Comisión Europea, que lo que realmente busca es una educación que esté personalizada, con valores, como he dicho, que tienen que ser valores europeos, tienen que ser valores globales, valores en los que vayamos calando como sociedad el sentido de pertenencia que ya os he dicho, de ser Europa, de que hacemos Europa, que forjamos realmente Europa. Somos todos nosotros, pero vosotros vais a seguir continuando en ese avance de esa forja que es la Unión Europea. Para vosotros que sois muy jóvenes, no visteis o no vivisteis el momento en el que España, bueno, pues formó parte, empezó de aquella Unión Europea en aquellos 80. Yo lo viví desde el momento como universitaria en aquel momento y realmente fue algo muy especial, que lo que esperamos es que a través de esa alianza de universidades europeas, de ese conocimiento a través de la cátedra Jean Monnet, en todo el alumnado, en los jóvenes y no los jóvenes de Cantabria, se forje ese sentir de Europa. Bueno, la colaboración, también quiero decir que la colaboración institucional realmente es importante, es fundamental. Para el Gobierno de Cantabria es fundamental, es el eje de nuestra política y por eso es esa participación junto con la Unión, con la Universidad de Cantabria, para no solo un intercambio de conocimientos y de métodos, no solamente es con eso, sino también esa alianza, esa participación institucional nos va a permitir avanzar a todos en un mayor ritmo, en todos los campos, a nivel educativo, a nivel político, a nivel económico, a nivel social. Por eso es fundamental la interacción, la participación institucional del Gobierno de Cantabria junto con la Universidad de Cantabria. Porque realmente lo que buscamos como gobierno es, al igual que en la alianza que en EUNICE, lo que buscamos es la aportación, ¿no?, de otros actores que sean también importantes en la sociedad. Y ese es el objetivo que tenemos. Todas las contribuciones tienen que ser tenidas en cuenta y van a ser tenidas en cuenta por todos nosotros y tienen que ser esa referencia en las políticas que adoptemos. Vivimos en un tiempo, en estos momentos, de constante cambio, en una situación realmente muy compleja a nivel geopolítico, ¿no?, en las puertas de Europa, con una guerra en Ucrania por la invasión rusa, pero eso que es una constante transformación, porque nadie hace 3 años nos imaginábamos que íbamos a pasar por una pandemia y han pasado 2 años y medio de aquel momento. Y ahora estamos inmersos en una situación, en un conflicto bélico que tiene unas repercusiones, sobre todo humanas, ¿no?, pero también las tiene económicas, que nadie pensaba en ello, pero que lo que supone es ese gran cambio social en el que esperemos, ¿no?, que evolucionemos y nos transformemos en algo mejor, pero lo que realmente es que los grandes cambios lo que están haciendo es que tenemos una hoja de ruta en la que la unidad realmente es lo único que nos va a permitir salir de una situación crítica, en los que el trabajo colaborativo como sociedad en su conjunto es la forja de esa Europa en la que queremos seguir viviendo. Porque la unión y el trabajo colaborativo como sociedad es una de las claves del éxito para dar respuesta a los enormes desafíos a los que nos encontramos en pleno siglo XXI. Yo por mi parte nada más, os deseo lo mejor, espero que esta jornada que hoy vamos a tener de debate realmente suponga un antes y un después, pero sobre todo ese pozo y ese gota a gota que nos hace ser mejores para una mejor Europa. Por mi parte, pues nada más y muchísimas gracias. Tenéis la palabra.
Muchas gracias, consejera. Bueno, ahora el profesor, ya sin más dilación, el profesor Marcos Fernández va a hacer la presentación de la ponente de hoy, Vanessa Divisentón.
Muchísimas gracias, doctora. Muchísimas gracias, consejera. I want to say just briefly, thank you very much. Today is a very important day for this project. So thank you very much for all the support to our university, Machalen, to Gabi, to all the EUNICE team. Thank you very much to the Regional Ministry of Economics and the Government of Cantabria for all the support. Thank you to our dean, Jesus Collado, for being here and for hosting this event, and to the head of our department, Ruben Sai, that is connected online. Thank you to all of our team, Eufirre, this is Monnet module. And thank you in particular to Ms. Devier Santon for her availability, for being connected with us today. It's a great opportunity for us. Vanessa Devier Santon is the head of unit in charge of higher education policies and programs of the European Commission Directorate General for Education, Youth, Sport and Culture. This unit is leading European policies on important and current issues like the reform and transformation of higher education, the European Universities Initiative, we are going to talk about this today, the mutual recognition of higher education qualifications, the creation of the EU student card, the higher education strand of the program Erasmus+. Vanessa de Santon has worked in the European Commission since 2006. She has worked before in the DG Research and Innovation, and also she has experience working in the private sector in the fields of petroleum companies, chemical companies. Today, she is going to explain us firsthand why the European Commission is promoting alliances of European universities as a strategic goal and how they are doing it. After the presentation, we are going to have some time for questions and answers. So I encourage you to make questions and answers, to take this opportunity. As I know this could be difficult for you, if you prefer, you can write the questions in a paper and give it to any of the professors of the subject, to Manuel, to Ana, to me, or to Diego. Okay, you can write the questions, and then we are going to make some questions to our plenary speakers. And you can also make your questions, write your questions in Spanish, and we can translate them in English to our plenary speaker. So thank you very much to all of you for being here, and we can let our plenary speakers speak.
We're going to move so that we can see you, Melissa. And the floor is yours. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And I will maybe start by congratulating all students who have chosen to be part of the EUNICE European University Alliance. This initiative, the European Universities Initiative, was born 5 years ago when we were celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Erasmus Plus program. And at that time, head of states and head of governments met at the Gothenburg summit to discuss the creation of a European education area. And at that time, they expressed how fond they were of this program and the impact it has on all young people and how it changes their lives and opens their minds. At the same time, they all agreed that only 5% of European students benefiting from such an opportunity was not enough, and that a new model had to be found. And this was one of the objectives for the creation of European universities that are alliances of higher education institutions from all parts of Europe, sharing a common vision, a common long-term vision on all their missions, education, research, innovation, all at the service of society, and that are aiming at sharing and pulling what they do best in a trusted environment. I am checking there some chat. Is it okay that you can hear me?
Yes, we do.
Yes,
we can hear you.
All right, I was just wondering if that was an issue. Okay, I will continue. So this way, European Universities Alliances will bring Europeans together from north, south, east, west for a large majority of their students to learn during their studies how to cooperate between countries, between cultures and disciplines as well. And they will offer these alliances a much broader, wider, diversified and new types of education and training offered to their students, who will be able to have a more learner-centered approach, which is one of the key objectives of EUNICE, choosing in a sound pedagogical framework what, when, where to study within the alliance to get a European degree. So students will have the opportunity to be actors of change during their studies by working on real and concrete challenges with companies, cities, regions, researchers, and peers from different countries and disciplines. So students this way will be equipped with all the skills to thrive and to succeed in their future personal and professional lives. So by having chosen to take part in EUNICE, you are real pioneers as part of this journey to build the universities of the future. Now, we absolutely need a future where academic excellence and innovation are linked to social responsibility and commitment, and where academics and non-academic partners come together to solve real-world problems. And this is fully in line with the European strategy for universities that was adopted earlier this year, and that provides a long-term vision for the higher education sector in Europe for the coming years. So we see the European Universities Alliances as pioneers for implementing this long-term vision, this strategy, and for inspiring the entire higher education community. You are now preparing for the second round of Erasmus Plus funding for the next 4 years with a substantial increased budget up to 14.4 million euros for 4 years. So what do we expect from alliances like EUNICE? We expect you to present how you're going to make this ambitious European university a reality in your higher education institutions, to mainstream all the innovative activities that you have been piloting in the last 3 years so that more students, more academics and faculties can benefit from the new innovative and interdisciplinary learning and research practices that you have been developing. And this European university can not only succeed if you manage to implement real transformation at institutional level, and if you manage to embark all your staff and students in this great adventure. For that, you will need the support of each and every service in your universities for this transformation, starting from the rectors, vice rectors, deans, and also from all academics and students in your universities and your innovation surrounding ecosystem. The best way to achieve this is to have the overall strategy of each of your higher education institutions align with the strategy of EUNICE, so that all activities of each member contribute to the success of EUNICE. We are convinced that this will bring new perspectives, strengths, and the energy to EUNICE to achieve a structural, systemic, and sustainable impact on higher education in Europe. EUNICE can be a key player to move towards seamless and new forms of mobility for a majority of students, staff, and professionals, be it physical, virtual, or blended, and having mobility fully embedded in all curricula. So we are looking forward to see the development also of interdisciplinary and transnational programs across your universities, striving towards a joint European degree. This includes as well embedding challenge-based approaches involving your innovation ecosystem. and the setup as well of a vibrant, multicultural, inclusive and multilingual inter-university campus. And for this, we encourage all your students, staff and researchers to really take ownership of EUNICE, be part of its development and take, of course, advantage of all the great opportunities that this European University can bring to all of them and to all of you. And we are on your side to further support EUNICE beyond the funding. On the 5th of April this year, the Council endorsed a higher education package proposed by the Commission through all the discussions that we had with the European universities and higher education stakeholders, with the adoption of important Council conclusions on the European strategy for universities, but also a very important Council recommendation when it comes to building bridges for effective European higher education cooperation. European universities such as EUNICE have been key in the development of this European package, and we built on your experiences on leading the way towards a true European higher education in Europe. So the member states have expressed strong support for the European Universities Initiative and also through a number of key flagships. So first, they have agreed to broaden the European Universities Initiative to bring to 60 European alliances, European Universities Alliances by mid-2024, involving more than 500 higher education institutions from all parts of Europe. And this will be supported with 1.1 billion euros from Erasmus Plus for the period 2021-2027, with complementary support from Horizon Europe, Digital Europe, and other structural funds. Now they agreed to work towards a voluntary and flexible legal status for these alliances for those who wish so. Nothing is compulsory. It's fully based on a voluntary approach. The objective is to facilitate those who are in demand to put together resources, activities, data, budgets, fully respecting your institutional autonomy. Another flagship is to explore next steps towards possible joint European degree. As a first step, we'll work towards developing European criteria for the award of a joint European degree label. Again, this is based on a fully voluntary approach. Here, the objective is to facilitate the delivery of joint programs in the context of transnational cooperation between several European higher education institutions of different countries. And based on the results of these pilots, we will explore together with the Council and different member states the further steps towards a possible design and delivery of joint European degrees at all levels, at bachelor, master and doctoral levels, based on the existing Bologna instruments and all the support needed at national, regional and institutional level. Now, the Council recommendation that has been adopted offers a range of measures to support you in delivering your ambitions within EUNICE. It is not easy to address all the challenges in so many aspects of your work, but we were very happy last week when discussing with your member states that a lot of national legislations are ongoing under revisions to really address the challenges that you are facing. So it's really, we see a lot of goodwill for change and to adapt. So you can see that your European University, and you mentioned in your introduction that it's not easy. It requires a lot of enthusiasm from all academics, from all students, but also adaptability, agility to be ready for changes and we were quite happy to see the support from a number of member states. So you see that this initiative is really a catalyst for change of the entire higher education sector in Europe that can benefit not only those participating in these alliances, but for the entire higher education landscape. So it's not easy. We are there to support you. We have a common objective, and it's important that we all work in the same direction. And we are convinced that by working together, we will be able to make it a success. And I really wish you a lot of fun as well during this journey that we're all gathered together. So thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to your questions now.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Vanessa and for the participation, your contribution here to this event. It's a pleasure for us and a great opportunity to have your contribution here. And we are going to open the microphone. We are going to open your opportunity. So if you want to think on any question, you can raise your hand. You can write the questions, or you can formulate it in Spanish, and I can translate to the plenary speaker. I would like to ask, well, here in Cantabria, we are a small region, like half a million inhabitants. And I would like to ask, I really think that this initiative of European universities can benefit a small-sized region like us, small, medium-sized university like us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Will you take several questions, or do you wish me to reply after each question? What do you prefer?
I think it's better if you want. You can ask the question one by one. It's okay for you. We are going to collect more questions by our students.
All right. Okay. So I will reply to this question. So this initiative, indeed, the objective is it's not only to fund higher education institutions in the capitals, but it was very important from the very start for the head of state and governments to have a very inclusive initiatives, inclusive in terms of different types of higher education institutions, be it comprehensive research universities or technical universities or universities of applied sciences, be it located not only in capitals, but also in rural areas. And they have the potential, by working closely with their innovation, with their surrounding innovation ecosystem, by working closely with their cities and with their regions, they have the potential to really bring innovation and economic growth in their region. As I said, and I'm very happy to see that it's at the core of the strategy of EUNICE as well, is to really have an engagement of the students, of the academics, working closely with the needs of the cities and the regions to tackle together the specific challenges that your cities and regions are going through. So it's really this type of engagement that we are looking for, and it's very important also for the students to really have the opportunity to already during their studies act as actors of change and make really an impact, be it on climate change, be it on inclusion, be it on artificial intelligence, big data, you know, any kind of challenges that your cities and regions may be facing.
We know that Vanessa Dibies Antonio is a very busy person, so we don't want to abuse of her time. But we have, if you want, time for 3 more questions. One question would be, do you know how to, or is the impact of European universities going to be measured in any way? have any way of measuring it, or are you thinking in any way of measuring this impact or evaluating the impact that this initiative may have?
Yes, indeed, that's a very important question. And we are doing a monitoring at different levels. First, the executive agency, the IKEA, is doing a monitoring alliance by alliance with the midterm reporting, with the final reporting, so that we can really follow the outcomes of each alliance. And we are making an analysis of what we see for all alliances, and we are sharing that with the member states. So last week, for example, we were meeting the 27 directors general responsible for higher education in all the 27 ministries across the EU. And we shared the impact of what we've seen, for example, in the applications of last year, what the first waves of European universities envisage for the next 4 years. And we are now preparing a report on what we have seen in the midterm review of the first wave and second wave of European universities, and we'll do the same with what we have seen in the final reports. But also beyond that, we are now working on a monitoring framework to be able, if you want, to monitor the progress, not only alliance by alliance, but of the initiative as a whole. How is this initiative impacting the entire higher education sector? You know, I mentioned, for example, that it triggers changes in the national laws, how to allow your institutions to be more creative, be more innovative when it comes, for example, to developing joint educational activities, so that you are not blocked by the national legislations, for example, when it comes to accreditation or quality assurance, or the percentage of language learning or digital learning. So we see that things are changing step by step, and maybe quicker than how it has been done in the past. So this is one way of monitoring the progress of the initiative as a whole. So now at the moment, we are discussing with European universities, with higher education stakeholders, and with member states, we are discussing the different criteria on which we want to monitor this initiative as a whole and how it brings impact to the entire higher education sector. And our objective is to provide a report to all the political leaders by 2024, when we will discuss the midterm review of the MFF, the multi-annual financial framework for all European instruments. It's a very important stage milestone, because that will be the basis to discuss the post-2027 MFF, so the post-2027 European funding support. And that's very important to showcase the outcomes, so that member states and political leaders can continue investing in this initiative. So it will be the opportunity as well to discuss a possible new investment pathway for this initiative in the future, as part of Erasmus+, but in synergy with other European instruments as well.
Thank you very much. Well, we are a peripheral region in the periphery of Europe, and one student asks, in which ways are the physical distance issues being faced when organizing inter-university activities? Inter-university alliances.
Sorry, I didn't hear properly the question.
Okay. In which ways can physical distance issues be faced when organizing inter-university activities? So do the alliances have a budget for facing these issues, for promoting interpersonal relationships and exchange of students, or do we have technological means, like for instance today, for addressing these challenges as a result of distance in universities like us that are peripheral part of Europe?
Well, you know, so with the new, the next phase of the funding, the members of the European Universities Initiative will receive up to 14.4 million euros aimed at implementing their strategy. And here the voice of students is very important. So as part of this budget, they can use it to ensure a key role and an active role of students, but also of academics in the governance of the European University initiative, but also to contribute to any kind of joint activities when it comes to embedding in the curriculum transnational mobility, transnational cooperation. So then it's up to each European university to see how they want to make best use of this budget to implement the overall strategy of their European university. But they can also built on many other European funding opportunities. And I was discussing, for example, yesterday with the UNITA European University, where they told me how they use, if you want, historical reactions, the IT kicks, the Horizon Europe funding, to really use this European funding in the same direction. That is the vision set out in their European university. And what is fascinating is that cooperation existed before, and they were already making use of all these funding opportunities, but in a more fragmented way, not always going into the same direction. And the power of this initiative is to align and to put together all the forces, all the fantastic minds and brilliant minds that are present in all your universities to really join forces and work along the lines of a clear and aligned strategy. And this is how you can make much more impact and how you can really transform your institution in a systemic and structural way.
Thank you very much. And the last question is also by one of our students. Are you noticing an increase in the last years or the last time? Are you noticing an increase in the number of universities that are joining this your initiative of European universities, or are you noticing an increase in the interest among universities?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. We are very happy that actually from the very start, there has been an enthusiasm from the wide higher education community. And we're very happy to see that this enthusiasm is still there. And I would say that it has even increased. Even if we have seen an enthusiasm from the start, there are still some subjects, which is all fine, of course. But now we see that among those that were the most skeptical, now they are very much very interested to join this initiative, either by joining existing alliances. Alliances have the possibility to expand to more partners or to create new alliances. So we really see a huge interest within the higher education community within Europe. But we also see more and more an interest from higher education institutions outside Europe to be able to partner and to strengthen their cooperation with those higher education institutions that are taking part in such alliances. Because it's very attractive for them, because if they partner with your university, they will benefit not only from all the education, research and innovation offer of one institutions, but they will benefit from the joint efforts of 8, 9 higher education institutions, which is very attractive for them to partner with such alliances.
Thank you very much. And to finish this part of the workshop, the Vice Rector of the University of Cantabria, Professor González Llosa, is going to make a question and comment to Vanessa de Pearson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vicenton, for your participation and your words. I also have a question myself, if I may, if you have a couple more minutes for me. I am curious to have heard that the initiative intends to create some 60 alliances encompassing some 500 institutions until 2024. My question is, what happens after that? I mean, do the European Commission has any plans in mind to extend it to any other universities? So we know that many more are interested in participating in these alliances, or is the Commission going to support all these 60 university alliances, or is there going to be some filter to continue supporting them afterwards? And in other words, this number of 60 is the fixed number that the European Commission has for the future, or could it shrink, or could it expand? Or what are the plans after this number is reached?
Thanks a lot. So this number of 60 is a shared objective with the member states. It was, if you want, a trade-off of having a critical mass, while at the same time acknowledging that it's so ambitious that it's not for all higher education institutions in Europe. And there are many other opportunities to cooperate with the Erasmus Plus program or other European programs. So once you create such ambitious initiatives, objective is, of course, for them to be successful. And that is why we want to support all these alliances, not only with funding, sustainable long-term funding, but also with all this policy support to accompany all these national policy changes. So it's really a long-term perspective. Now we are going to give you an opportunity of funding through Erasmus Plus for 4 + 2 years. So that would bring you up to 2028, 2029. So you have already a perspective for the next 6 years when it comes to the Erasmus Plus funding. Now, as I said, with this monitoring, these impact studies, we will discuss in 2024 in the context of the midterm review, what will be the next steps in the post-MFF. So within the next European instruments, post-2027. And I am convinced that the member states will want to continue. Yeah? They are all agreeing that this is a fantastic initiative that paves the way for future changes and adapting to the new reality for the future of higher education. Now the question will be, do we continue with the grant model, or do we want to invent a new instrument that facilitate even more the synergies between the European programs, but also possibly with national and regional programs? So these are all discussions that we're going to start to have with the European universities, with the member states in the years to come, to prepare and to build the next steps under the next MFF. But you can be sure that it will continue being a key flagship. Now, whether there will be 60, whether there will be 55, I mean, it depends. It depends on what we will see. You know, nothing is automatic. The overall objective is to get the 60. To really find a trade-off between excellence and also inclusion. But of course, nothing is automatic. And we have seen, unfortunately, from the first wave, one has not been reconducted because they have not been able to show their commitment to the vision and the strategy that they had proposed. So that's really important. What we want is to provide the maximum support to those alliances to be successful, but nothing is given for granted, obviously. So it needs to be a shared and collective effort.
Thank you so much, Mr. Biesenkamp. I can tell you from the EUNICE side that we are convinced that this is going to be an alliance for the long term, independently of what the policies are, because this is irreversible. What you have done so far is irreversible for the existing alliances. And we also agree that it's a fantastic initiative. In the name of the University of Cantabria, who is holding this event, and in the name of EUNICE, thank you so much for accepting the invitation and joining us today.
My pleasure. All the best. And let's keep in touch regularly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Good afternoon again. Hello. Welcome to the second part of the workshop. In this second part, we are going to have a roundtable focused specifically on the Alliance EUNICE. This is the alliance in which the University of Cantabria takes part, together with other 9 European universities. And we are going to talk about opportunities for students. So please take this opportunity for making your questions and getting the information that could be interesting for you as regards the EUNICE, this alliance. In our Jean Monnet module, our Jean Monnet project that is organizing this event, our aim is to promote that the students think about Europe and think as Europeans. So you realize that we are something that is called Europeans and working in a context and moving in a context that is called Europe. So we think that this event, talking about European alliances of universities and talking about EUNICE, is a great opportunity, is a current topic, a topic that is of interest for you as students, and that is why we organized this workshop on this issue. This roundtable is going to be based on short interventions by 3 key persons in EUNICE Alliance that are going to talk about 3 different fields of interest for our students. We are going to talk first about joint studies, second about joint activities, and third about internships and connection with companies. We would like to organize this part of the event as a conversation, an open conversation between 3 experts from EUNICE and you, that are the public or the people that is at the end interested in what is happening around and which opportunities are around. So please, those issues that could be of interest for you, please ask questions and please get the information that you may need. Because you can be the beneficiaries of EUNICE, you can have benefits from this alliance, but also you can shape this alliance. So you can say your concerns, which issues are of interest for you, and the leaders of this alliance can listen to you and can shape EUNICE, taking into account your concerns. So it's important that you give your concerns. Today, we are very lucky to have together with us Monnet from Université Polytechnique Hauts-de-France, Kerstin Mayer from University of Cantabria, and Cristina Satriano from Università di Catania in Italy. Thank you very much to all of you for your availability, and it's a great opportunity also for us. We are going to have short presentations. I'm going to introduce, first of all, Monnet. Monnet has a PhD in computer science from the University of Sfax in Tunisia. She's a postdoctoral fellow at the Polytechnic University of Hauts-de-France in Valenciennes in the north of France. Her research focuses on educational gamification, educational games, distance learning, machine learning, educational psychology, open science, blockchain, artificial intelligence in education, learning analytics, fields in where she has published several papers, participated in several conferences, and so on. She's part of the EUNICE team in the Polytechnic University of Hauts-de-France, and she's going to talk, based on this expertise, on opportunities for joint studies in EUNICE. So she's going to talk about the EUNICE course catalog and how to enroll in these courses, the excellence program, and the pedagogical innovation activities in EUNICE. So thank you very much, Mona, for your contribution.
Thank you so much. I'm very glad to be here with you today. So in my short intervention, I will briefly present some main activities of EUNICE, specifically regarding the academic offer. So there are 3 main academic main activities in the academic offer. So the first points that I will talk about is the shared course, then excellence program, and pedagogical innovation. So in order to enhance learners' learning experience and to provide our students with customized training programs, so EUNICE proposed a shared catalog which contains several courses in a set of domains. Basically, there are seven domains: healthcare, history and society science, IT and smart cities, languages, engineering, soft skills and global competence, and sustainable development. So we have several courses in each domain. So in order to benefit from the expertise of the 7 universities, so all the universities participated by creating courses and sharing it with all the universities from all the countries. So each student from any university can be enrolled in one of these courses. These courses will be taken by the Moodle platform. I will directly move to show you the websites. No.
This one?
Okay.
This one?
Yeah, so here we have the Moodle platform. So all these courses are integrated in the Moodle platform. And I'm going to share with you the link. Please share with us.
This check?
Just the website.
Is it this one, right? Last chair.
Okay, thank you so much. So I will show you just a brief demonstration on our website. So this is the EUNICE website. I don't know if you have an idea or you saw it before. So this is our EUNICE website. We have here a course rubric. So you can click here and you will find the list of all the courses proposed by all the universities. So all these courses are categorized based on their domains, which are the 7 domains. So if any one of you is interested to find any course, so he can go directly to the course and link and click on it. For example, this one. So here you can find all the description regarding the course, the dates, application deadline, accreditation, and the mode. So I will explain all these details about the mode and the deadline. So here we have some information about the course. So there are several, so here we have a rubric of registration. There are some open courses now and some closed courses. So there are several also teaching format. You can attend these courses face-to-face or online or hybrid, for example, part online and part offline. We have here a set of categories, so we can choose the number of credits for the course that you are looking for. You can here also choose the starting date and make a search. So I will here just make a search for the open courses. Just make open and do a search. Okay. There is a problem with internet connection or something like that. I don't know why. Yeah. Make even hybrid or something like that. I think that there is a problem with the internet connection. Okay. This is an example here of a result of a search.
For example, here I looked for the open courses which are hybrid. And here we can find the result. Okay, so these courses can be proposed by several universities. For example, here we have a course proposed by UMOS, University of Mons. And of course, all the students from all the universities can be enrolled in this course. So they can attend it online or face-to-face or even hybrid. So in addition to these online, another important point that I should mention about these courses. So these courses are recognized. So you can take it as a part of your training program or as an additional course. So you will get after that a certificate for this course. And what else to add? So you will be recognized and you can get a certificate. And that's it. The second important activity that I will talk about is just to come back to. Okay, here we have a statistic about the last pilot experience using this course. So here, the last year we received 2,050 registration, where 2,027 were accepted in the online on these courses, on these shared courses, and the percentage of acceptance was more than the half of the number of students accepted. So for even the satisfaction of learners, you can see here that more than half of the students were very satisfied with the courses that they were enrolled in. So in terms of clarity, course content, flexibility, etc. So this can enhance you to enroll in these courses. Let's move to the next main important part, which is excellence program. So in addition to the shared courses, we have also focused on excellence programs, which are co-created programs, where we have created 21 excellence programs. So each university is proposed one program for bachelor and one for master and one for PhD. So that's why we have 7 bachelor excellence programs, 7 for masters and 7 for PhD. This we can find some examples of excellence program. For example, here for Poznan, they proposed 3 excellence program, one for bachelor, which is sustainable building engineering, one for master cybersecurity, and one for PhD trends and future prospects in environmental science. So here some examples from the excellence program. And you can find that in this excellence program, some of the shared courses are also included in this excellence program. And the last important point that I will talk about is pedagogical innovation. In addition to the courses and programs, etc., in EUNICE, we are also focusing on enhancing learners' learning experience by providing immersive learning learning environments, etc., such as using the metaverse environments. I know that metaverse now is a trend, and maybe some of you have an idea about this. So in metaverse, you can use the virtual reality techniques, artificial intelligence, games, etc. So this is to motivate learners and more engage them while learning. We also plan to implement the gamification concept which is the use of game design elements in contents different than games, to also more motivate students while learning. For example, we can integrate these elements in the Moodle platform. So you can receive badges and points when you complete an activity, and after that you will be ranked based on the collected points in a course. And why not? Maybe you can receive award or something like that. Okay. Also, for in the pedagogical innovation, we plan to maybe to create personalized environments. These personalized environments can be based on students' personalities or maybe needs, etc. And so we are just doing our best to provide our students the most enjoyable learning experience, to motivate them and engage them and enhance their learning performance. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we have an applause to Mona. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Stole your chair. We are going to have later on the opportunities for making questions for all our speakers. Now, Kerstin Meyer is going to talk about the second part of the roundtable. Kerstin is a project officer at of EUNICE at the University of Cantabria. She's also a doctoral student researching students' perspective on global competence development in higher education here at the University of Cantabria. She has worked for different international organizations in several countries in fields such as foreign trade, sustainable supply chains, entrepreneurship, internationalization of higher education, and so on. And Kerstin is going to briefly outline what the European University Alliances are supposed to achieve in terms of educating European citizens. And Kerstin will also describe how we try to achieve in EUNICE this aim. So thank you very much also, Kerstin, for sharing that expertise with us.
Be here today. So I will briefly talk about what Vanessa already outlined, one of the objectives of the European University Alliance in terms of multicultural competences and languages, and also how we aim to achieve this in EUNICE. So as Vanessa already outlined, the European University Alliance are supposed to promote common European values and the European identity of their students. So the long-term idea is to have like a huge generation of Europeans who are able to cooperate within different cultures, languages, across borders, sectors, and academic disciplines. Okay, yeah. Okay, so how do we achieve this in EUNICE? In EUNICE, our aim is to shape European citizens, and we have two ways on how to achieve this. So on the one hand, we embedded this in all of our activities. As Mona just shared with you, we have a shared online course catalog where you can participate in courses of other universities and collaborate with their students. We are trying to set up the excellence programs, which are transnational, international programs where you will have the chance to study at different universities. We have intercultural activities and the internship portal that Christina will talk about. So all of this really contributes to shaping European citizens because it's international activities that are embedded in everything we do. But we also have some specific activities that are particularly relevant to strengthen intercultural competences, languages, and your knowledge on European and global issues. Okay, so what we have recently created is the Certificate on Global Competences, EUNICE Certificate on Global Competences. And this certificate, we will shortly, implement it, and it will be complementary to your student diploma. And it will certify your internationalization achievements. So there's 3 areas that we want students to achieve. So one is the intercultural competence, the foreign languages, and the third one is the knowledge of European and global issues. So in terms of languages, we believe that like a European citizen who has went through university should have at least a B2 level of English, and also know a basic or have basic communication skills in another foreign language. Regarding knowledge on European and global issues, we think it's important that like all of you know how our local activities relate to European and global issues and the other way around, and intercultural competences, so that you would be able and feel confident in working with people from other cultures and in international contexts. So what do we do in UNICE to give you the chance to develop these competences? Like in the first part, in the linguistic part, we have just launched a few months back online language learning course free of charge for all of our UNICE students. They're currently up and running, and we will analyze the results and in order to improve the second edition. And you can have a look at our website. There you can find the different courses, which might be of interest to all of you. And with regards to knowledge on European and global issues, we have created online courses on global issues and on European issues. So we had 7 different courses up and running in the last academic year. And students from all our universities took these courses, and we have integrated several of them in our normal UNICE online courses. So if you want to know more about European and global issues, have a look at these courses because they might be of interest to you. And also, I would like to talk briefly about an open online course that we will launch in the coming months. So this is a course which would be open to all of you. It's free ECTS, and we have developed this course among 7 academics from the 7 universities. It's really transnational. It's transdisciplinary. It's an introduction level, and we talk about different topics of global studies. So have a look at it because we think that this is a very, very good opportunity to really get some insight into what's happening on a global scale. The last area is the intercultural competences. So as some of you might know, we have organized a lot of intercultural activities in the last year and also this year. And the big event there is the UNICE weeks. So every year we have a week where we have different online conferences, sport events, and other things such as the industrial workshops that we had last year. This year we had them face to face, and so the alliance, the sports activities, they took place at Poznan University, and it was a huge success, and people really enjoyed it. So please have a look at these activities because they're really interesting for you if you want to develop your intercultural competences and work or collaborate with people from different cultures. And the last thing, okay, maybe you have to do it. So this is just a testimonial. We have run a course here at the University of Cantabria with students from our 7 universities and also from the United States, and they have learned many things about global studies, and this is a short video, but they explain how they felt about it. Ask you to let us know if there's any activities that you miss, if there's anything that you think we should do to any activities or courses that we could offer and would be of interest to you. Because as Mona already mentioned, our aim is to provide customized education. So it's important that you tell us what your needs are, what your interests are, and then we can try to figure out how we can possibly design new offers if needed. And also, as said before, have a look at our website. There's a lot of activities already in place, and you might want to join some of them. That's it from my side.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And our last contribution comes from Cristina Satriano. Cristina Satriano is Associate Professor of Physical Chemistry and Head of the Nano-Hybrid Biointerfaces Lab at the Department of Chemical Sciences of Catania University in Sicily, in the south of Italy. Her research activity focuses on the design, the synthesis and characterization of nanomaterials and nanomedicine application. I was trying to understand this complex research, and for instance, is research focused on nanoparticles for curing bounds or for tumor therapy, so really useful issues. She has a network of national and international collaborations, both from academia and from the industry. She is lead lecturer of 3 PhD, master and undergraduate courses in the fields of physical chemistry of nanomaterials, biointerfaces, and nanomedicine. She is the board member of doctoral schools at the University of Catania, the Poznan University of Technology, and the University of Natural Resources and Life Sciences in Austria. Professor Satriano is the coordinator of the EUNICE team at the University of Catania. And based on this expertise, she is going to talk us about the connection between EUNICE and companies. So I'm sure this is a very interesting issue for you that are nearly most of you, in the case of our students, finishing the degrees and thinking on opportunities for the future. So she's going to talk about the connection between EUNICE and companies, including opportunities for internship, opportunities for entrepreneurships. The University of Catania, led by Professor Satriano, is the leader of a work package in EUNICE named Training, Research and Development for Industry-Oriented Problems. So the connection between the university and the productive sector, the industry. She's going to focus on challenges and opportunities for EUNICE students to get their customized education by illustrating 4 main activities of this work package led by University of Catania. And this contribution by Professor Satriano is going to focus on reinforcing the cooperation between university, industry, and the society. So thank you very much for being here with us.
Thank you. Okay. I will not repeat the name of the work package since thank you already mentioned. And I will briefly talk about the main activities that we are doing with the EUNICE University to reinforce the cooperation between the university and the industry and society at the level. So the international internships, working with the training and industry-driven education, especially focus on dual and lifelong learning programs, and what is called the knowledge triangle. So education, research, and innovation now is becoming the knowledge square with the service to society even more and more connected. And last but not least, the entrepreneurship education to start from the very basic idea to get to a company, to a business, to make it real. And the way that we did this activity with the project involved a lot of activities, as were already mentioned, like industrial workshop, involving companies, involving elevator pitch also for the students, for the PhD students that were making this competition. And also we are organizing the EUNICE Contamination Lab. You will get news in the next couple of months. And this is a physical and virtual laboratory which involve cross-disciplinary contaminations. And it's really interesting to take part in that. And also the EUNICE Imagine Innovation Cup, Start Cup experience related to that. And so it's 3 times. Maybe you can move on that. And all these activities are very strongly connected to the EIIP, and it's the EUNICE International Internship Portal. I will briefly explain how it works maybe I can ask for your help. We do an experimental demonstration of how friendly is this portal. So you land to the EUNICE website, and then you click onto internships. There is a link there.
Yep.
Okay, then you can see there are two black windows. One is for students, the other is for the companies. So if you are a student, you go to the guild button.
Oh.
For students.
Okay. Yeah.
You have to click here.
No. Ya se ha perdido completamente.
This is not our fault. The website is working.
Yes. Mira a ver si clican, es que no tiene sentido. Sí. Vuelve.
I can see it perfectly.
And that I can see online with the people that are attending online, but we cannot see it here. Just one second.
No se ve nada, ¿no?
Yeah.
Ah, there you go. Okay. Now, maybe there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you show that you can see on the left part of the screen, there is a way where you can access your credential, either if you are a company or you are a student. In the next future, we will work with you on that. And then there are some useful information like calls open for the submission here, or the form that companies can fill in to join the portal, and also some useful guides how to get the funding for this mobility. But let's do like an hypothesis. You are a student which are interested in internship. Choose a country. Which country you want to go? You want to go?
Let's go to Germany.
Oh,
There you go.
choose whatever you like.
Sector. Let's go for clean technologies.
Then apply the
Study.
filter. Yeah, I will not put. Let's start from the country. But
Okay.
we are at the moment more than 200 offers from companies, NGO research centers, but of course, okay, I found a couple of, no, more than.
Yep.
So you can go, then you can find the offer and you can click onto the one of that, for instance, and you see all the specification for the about the company, the contacts, what is the requested profile, and if in this specific period, or what is the specific period where there is an open call for some particular research topic for thesis, for master thesis, PhD thesis, or just for internship even after the graduation. If you decided that you want to apply and you are interested, if you go a bit up, yeah, click here to submit your application. We will not go through all this form, but it's really straightforward. You fill all the fields and then make click and the process is started. Thank you. Can you go back into the presentation? Okay, next slide. Yeah. So we, just to give some numbers, we had the portal in operation, let's say, starting from last summer. So we were pretty happy and satisfied to collect this number of companies. And also we had 138 applications from students. You can see in this graph. Yeah.
the applications per sending university. Most of the application come from Poland, another big slice of this case from Italy. We also have some students from Cantabria, but we can do better and start applying more to this portal. And also we can analyze this data in terms of the destination country. As you can see, Italy is very popular because of the weather, probably, then also Poland and other companies and other countries, sorry. Yeah, and this is a list of the sector of the study field for the students, for the applicants that apply to use the portal. You can see that there is a predominance of non-technological part, but also the fields are very spread. And, we have almost all the areas represented. At the very time, it's important to specify that this is a portal promoting the international internship. So from the under 13A students that apply for the mobility, only 101 will be affected in terms of the process going on, sending the application request to the company, because the other were applications for local internships. So the students got information how to go to the proper office at the local university. And so far, 6 of them have been accepted by the company to start their internship. And you see also that this table, I told before, most of the applications come from candidates from Poland and from Italy, and also so these candidates were applying for. This is not actually a company. This is a research center, which is also another opportunity for this portal to go to some research center and some other in companies dealing with cosmetics, and this one, this friendship is already finished. It's the first one which has completed the full process so far. So, okay, so what we expect from this portal, we for sure the impact can be related to improved employment or recruitment pathways. If you are thinking for a job, for instance, after graduation, and also on the other side to get some good things from the industry and to align the curricula. We say that we want to get a customized education. So alignment of the curricula with the skills of graduates to the job market and in general to society. And this is very important for the industry-driven education for graduates that can secure in an easier way job resulting from this reinforced cooperation. And on the other side, companies that get the most talent students that they need to be really productive and state of the art and in the front of the innovation. Also for the knowledge triangle, the possibility to share knowledge and find innovative solutions to some challenge-based problems set by every kind of field like society, environment, technological, computational games, and so on. So there are plenty of opportunities, especially for PhD students that are starting their way in research, and the business incubator. So the idea to develop the entrepreneurship formation profile, and so mindset entrepreneurial mindset approach and valorization for new products. And so at the end, the EUNICE University can offer a good, very big benefits to business, to the society, being a partner, get innovative solution to solve problems with a long strategic view, and also in the short term view to do basic research in bachelor, but also master level degrees, and to get the great impact of this network and this interaction at the international level. And I think I end with this. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much to all of you for your really interesting contributions and interventions. We have a lot of questions. We are going to select some of them because we don't want to take too much of your time here, but we have very interesting questions for you. First of all, I think it's very important to think, also Miguel has a question later on. Yes, the second question will be yours. I think it's very important to think internationally. So we are living in a small region, in a peripheral country in terms of Europe, but it's important to think internationally, to take this kind of opportunities. There is one student making a question, and I think it's important. It's an important question. What are the main, maybe it's a question for Christina, but any of you, based on your international expertise, could answer if you prefer. What are the main advantages of doing an internship program in a European country instead that in Spain? So going abroad and having this experience.
From my point of view, there is first of all an advantage in terms of increased knowledge just for linguistic skills. So you can take this opportunity to improve. We were just discussing today about one of the ways to promote these internships in the companies abroad. If you want to learn Italian, you can choose a company for doing the internship in Italy, for instance. And also, it's very important for opening your mind. I mean, we are working in this European University Alliance to have a multi-campus university. So you are a student from Cantabria, but you are also students from Catania, from Poznan, from UPHF, all these universities. You have all the opportunities that you can get through EUNICE. So even some experience in companies that deals a specific topic that probably you do not have at home, or you can get more specialized information to come back to Spain and then to bring home some knowledge that you can acquire in that way. So these are just to mention some of the advantages that you can get.
Thank you very much. There are two questions related with internships. I'm sure that you are very interested on this issue because you are starting to think on the future. One question is if it's possible to go to an internship or to more than one internship, or to go to an internship in different topics. So if you can go to more than one.
Sure, you're very welcome to that. I mean, how does the portal works in practice? All the companies that have entered to the portal have specified a profile of the trainees that they wish to host. So there are some requirements in terms of language knowledge, in terms of field of study, in terms, I don't know, all the specifications. So when you apply, there is a first filter about if what you put in the form is matching with the profile requested by the company. If this fit, it's the company, I mean, all the companies that have adhered to the portal are really wishing to be part of this joint open university And so there is a possibility definitely to apply for different sectors. For instance, can be a company dealing with microelectronics that needs a profile in economics or in law for the administrative part. So really try to look around and see how many opportunities there are.
And a related question is that if you can go to an internship in any stage of your career, I guess you are asking, for instance, do you need to be in the last year of your bachelor studies, or do you need to finish your bachelor studies and be studying a PhD?
Yeah. The target of the portal, as it is now, also include the students from high school. So we have students from high school, bachelor, master, PhD, and also graduated, which are in between, not yet started the PhD or just graduated recently and don't want to start the PhD. So all the levels are included, and so it depends, of course, from the availability that the company has given, but you can easily browse in the portal which profile it is good.
Thank you very much. We have a lot of questions that are written. Well, typically Spanish students are shy for making questions in this kind of conferences. This is why we collected the questions written. We have a lot of them. But also Miguel wants to make a question openly, so it's brave, taking into account that we are in a Spanish audience and it's not common. Students are brave, so but great. And Miguel, if any other person also wants to raise the hand and make a question, of course you are invited. And break with the topic that we are shy in making open questions. So please, Miguel.
Thank you. To ask about leading to both trying to kind of unify education in Europe. On the one hand, it makes sense to kind of have a unification movement, so it's easier for companies to recognize degrees which are similar and offer similar competences. But on the other hand, if universities offer similar careers, we lose innovability, and people have kind of less options to choose, and universities cannot copy other universities who are doing a good job because everyone is doing more or less the same. So what do you think should be the balance between unification, which have a kind of unified programs in Europe, while also maintaining the advantages of diversity? Thank you.
Good question. I'm not sure if I got it like right, but I think like European university alliances are also a possibility, like a good opportunity for, especially for smaller universities, because if you think that 7 to 10 universities now combine their offer, smaller specialized programs, many in the humanities who might not have enough students in one single campus, when combining several, they can actually also include like degrees and study fields that are maybe not the most demanded one in our current society. So I do think that like European universities are also an opportunity for the diversification, even though they have like common features. They want to internationalize more. They want to have this European identity among their students. I don't know if this responds somehow to your question.
I ask something apart from what Kirsten said, the very good point, for instance, the University of Cantabria we offer excellent grades and titles. We may be able to offer more if we join forces with other universities. But on top of that, we are also taking this opportunity to offer multidisciplinary titles. So, for instance, one of the things that we're promoting at the University of Cantabria is to create a PhD program on one health, which is a concept of looking at health in a very wide perspective. So, one health says that human health, animal health, mental health are all linked. And so, a PhD program on one health also incorporates social sciences or even anthropology. So that kind of program is very difficult to envision in one single university. But if you join the same university, you can get fantastic multidisciplinary PhD program. And the same thing with other things that we think about. That's a clear advantage.
Thank you very much. If any other person from the audience wants to speak, just you can raise your hand. But I guess it's easier, at least for students, to write a question. We have any other interesting question? For instance, one question that is very current at the moment. Are you thinking on adding more universities for more countries?
We've already done so.
You can, yeah.
We started this process. Yeah, the process. I think the process is started, and now we are in alliance of 10, not anymore 7, and we are going to prepare the application for the next for the extension of this alliance as this project. We have also now a university from Portugal, from university from Greece, and a university from Sweden. And for instance, some of the idea that we are also discussing for the development and implementation of what is CAR, for instance, for the portal that I just show you, is also including probably as associated partners, some extra web companies, extra web partners to foster this international mobility, also for research. That is very important.
Thank you very much. Some concerns are about incentives. No? Most of our students are economists and they know about incentives. And also, well, EUNICE, is bringing a lot of opportunities and will bring a lot of opportunities. But also it's important to involve the students, no? And to take into account your concerns. I think this is why this event is very nice, because this is a dialogue, it's becoming a conversation between key persons in the EUNICE Alliance and the students that are the base of this project. One question related with that is there any kind of fellowship, or do you plan to have in the future any kind of fellowship in order to take to enroll in the courses of EUNICE or in the activities of EUNICE? Do you plan in the future?
We are definitely trying to improve the process, fostering, for instance, for the mobility. There is a specific task force which has the aim to provide all the information to get grants for the mobility, to get funding for that. We are also trying to figure out if from the project itself we can fund some budget allocated, but this is not as it is now. This is not an Erasmus in the sense that it's financing the mobility, but we can scout. As we do the scouting, we can find a way to help and assist to get the funding. And usually you have the Erasmus mobility programs also at each university. I guess there are some international mobility programs. Yes, Maxine.
Yes, I just, sorry for doing it at the university, they want to know. You know that now there's open, the call is open to look for Erasmus mobility for the next year. Well, there are increased fellowships if you choose one of the universities.
It's very useful to know. In a related issue.
Maybe if I can add, so since you talked about like students, not like the fellowships, but how to involve them. So you might want to know that currently we have an open call at the University of Cantabria for students from the University of Cantabria who want to volunteer to help us with UNICE, to want to bring in ideas, and we can also get a credit for it. And also we usually have at least one intern working for us working with us at the office here at UNICE at the University of Cantabria. So also have a look because this proves to be a good opportunity for students who have done so in the past.
Great, thank you very much. Also, another question, I'm not going to repeat it, but it's related, no? This is something that is a concern of the students. There's a student that acknowledges the importance of a foreign language and wants to go abroad. and ask about the opportunities for fellowships, to learn languages abroad. So this is a concern. Maybe this is something that well, we should, in EUNICE, you should take into account. And also, if we could talk with the European Commission, we can tell them about the importance of funding for fellowships, like the Erasmus program was very successful in the past or in the present also. But also, to promote this kind of alliances, it's important to have money behind supporting students' mobility and giving an incentive related to that.
Also, like we try to give like alternative options. So of course, it's great if you do an international mobility and you go to a foreign term abroad to study at another university. But we try to offer also other activities that you can do here at the University of Cantabria without having to leave the campus. And by, for example, when we did the summer course here at the University of Cantabria, and there were students from 7 different countries present here and working together with students from here. So we have a lot of online opportunities. So we really try to be very inclusive and to have different kind of options for you so that you can choose which one fits you best.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. One question related to the future, even further than the internships. There is one student interested in dedicating to research, and the question is which opportunities or which ways can EUNICE provide in order to dedicate to research once they finish their degree. So thinking on the PhD students, for instance, which opportunities can EUNICE bring to them?
Definitely, there are plenty of options. We are promoting at the level of the Alliance the proposal of applications like for Marie Curie doctoral networks to get opportunities for the students to get also this kind of grants if the projects will be funded, but more specifically, the way that we are being graphic, and part of that is already present, for instance, in the portal. Some companies can make a specific offer for granting like research space to grant a research grant for or even a PhD. We are also working a lot with industrial PhD, international industrial PhD. It is one of the targets that we have in the project. So yes, stay tuned that there are plenty of opportunities. Contact the office, and there are several ways to go further with the research through EUNICE.
There are two questions related to language requirements. One question is very specific: which language requirement is needed in order to go abroad for internships and to other countries? So one question is specific language requirements, and the other question is thinking beyond, and is asking which help or which facilities can have students that go to other country and don't dominate, are not proficient in that language. I'm thinking, for instance, somebody wants to go to Germany, for instance, and it's not easy to proficient in that language.
English. I think that the English now is can be the first language. So if they have minimum in English, they can participate at least the microphone. I think that students with minimum of English can participate in all the courses or opportunities, and after exchanging and going to the other country, they will learn more. So English is the opportunity. I don't know if you want to add something.
So just learning English and having some knowledge of English is a good base as a way of communicating between different countries. And then, well, if you go to Italy or to Portugal, it would be easier. If you go to Germany, it would be a bit of a challenge.
Maybe also, like I'm German, right? And I did my Erasmus mobility in Madrid. and I went there with an, I think, A2 level, so I really had no big Spanish skills. And in 1 year, I improved a lot, and in the end, I ended up living here. So I do think even if you go to a country where you don't know the language, if the university allows it, it's a very good opportunity to really improve the language in a very short period of time. The English is maybe easier because all of our language centers have a lot of English. Some of the classes are already taught in English. But, Marta?
Sorry to interrupt you to talk about things, but on the academic report related to nutrition, I think, and we take care of linguistic policy and all the different language networks. And since you were asking about this, the requirements to partake in validity depend on the whole university. Okay, so when you have a look at the code, you can see the requirements. In some locations, it's for English-friendly classes, which means the classes are taught in the national language, but with help of the materials of the teacher, the professors, they speak English. Or you can also look at some university and the country. Okay, it's very difficult to be just like a general idea. And don't forget that the University of California is a linguistic center where you can receive courses in Italian, Portuguese, German, French, what else? Okay. And even Spanish is a language. So those courses that are year-long or first semester or summer courses. So don't forget that you've got an opportunity. And not only at the University of California, the other universities will also have language center where students can receive funds.
Thank you very much. There are two questions related to online courses or in general joint courses. One question is about, well, it's very specific. There is a number between the number of students that apply for a course and the number of students that are accepted in the course. And we have one student that asks why this is happening. Maybe because there are requirements.
Yeah, because in each course there is a requirement, so students must should have some requirement for be accepting in this course. That's why there is difference between the number of registration and the number of accepted students.
Thank you. And a related question, as the satisfaction with the online courses of EUNICE is being very high, do you have in mind to increase the number of courses available, trying to incorporate new fields, for instance? You will be interested in the field of social sciences, economics.
Of course, we are open to add more courses in each field and adding even more fields, and to make it more large to respond to students' needs.
It's great. So maybe even you can take the opportunity, not now, but in some time, and suggest some courses that could be a field of study.
Yeah, if you have any suggestions, you can find it, and about some courses that you can not find it, or of course you can send it.
We are going to deal with the last question. If somebody also wants to add a question, maybe we can dedicate time for one more. But in principle, well, we have a lot, but also, you know, you are tired. Listening in English is hard. It's been a great effort, even when very interesting for us. There's one question. Is applied to the University of Cantabria, but I'm going to change it a little bit. I'm going to ask about your home universities. How does becoming part of this alliance change the reputation, the prestige of your universities in France, also in Cantabria, and also in Italy? If this is changing the reputation of your university, changing your international position, maybe I would like to ask, in this case, to each of you.
Yeah. definitely changed the reputation. It's a prestigious way to be a European university. Not all the universities that apply to this project were founded. So it is a competitive call, and we are proud to be EUNICE, to be European University. We have this partnership. And also related to the topic that I was addressing today, also gave us the possibility to talk with our ecosystems company or the local, with this local territory, saying we can be a bridge to bring you also at the international level if you want to take part in this network. So definitely something that we were very happy to be involved, and we want to go furthermore in a strategic view of this university.
So, because it gives gives also opportunities to our students in France to see other students from other universities, to communicate with them, and to even do some collaborations in some tasks. So it's a good opportunity to be open for all the Europe.
Cantabria first.
I think my colleagues, they have already explained it very well. And yes, I do think that when we join our forces, then we get the best of each of our single universities, then in the end, we can really have a higher quality in everything that we do. So nothing more to add.
Great. Thank you very much. I would like to give them a warm applause and a warm recognition. Also present, recognition of your time, of your attention, your contribution. Enjoy your time in Cantabria, and this is and also, well, I would like to say thank you to all of you, all of the participants in this workshop. Our aim was to just 2 minutes and we. Our aim was to achieve a conversation, a dialogue between key persons in this alliance and our students, to exchange ideas so they know what are your concerns. You know physically what is this EUNICE idea. Of course, you are starting to listen a lot about EUNICE, but you have to land this idea to understand what this idea is. I was thinking that when I was studying, when I was in your situation, the Erasmus fellowships were a starting opportunity and was great, but few people knew about that. So many people didn't take this opportunity because they didn't know what was the Erasmus fellowships. Maybe in 20 years, this is what is going to happen with the European universities. We are going to say, oh, this was a very good opportunity, but I didn't get the information. I didn't know anybody who take the opportunity of doing that. So it's good that you know it, that you get information about that. So thank you very much. Thank you very much to you, to all of you. This activity is part of our Jean Monnet module. We are organizing activities for teaching, for research, and for knowledge, transfer of knowledge, always based on European issues. So we want you to think as Europeans and think internationally. This is very important for us. I hope this event has been interesting for you. Thank you very much for that. Fortunately, today we did not have an important World Cup match, because otherwise we will lose your attention. We didn't know it when we fixed the date, but fortunately we hadn't. I want to say also something very important. All the speakers today were women, except me. I should go out. I should go out. But this is very important because this event reflects that the world is changing. Europe is changing. There are new opportunities, and in particular, there are increasing opportunities for women. We know that women are even more and more in key positions, as for instance, this roundtable or the plenary speaker are good examples of that. So I want to say you that you have more and more opportunities. In particular, women have more and more opportunities also. And these are good news. Thinking internationally, thinking going abroad, all of you can have good opportunities here. And I hope that in 10 or in 20 years, you remember this conference, not just because the lunch, but also because you knew about opportunities that later on you take, or you can take. So thank you very much for your contributions, and also to all the audience that we have here. And see you, well, most of you see you in next lectures. Please keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you. To you. Thank you very much.